Ooh, what is up, gamers? Welcome back to Updated. Today's date is February 21st, 2022. It is Monday, the very first week of hopefully what is the new, schedule for the podcast, so that I can get stuff out easier, better, quicker, and whatnot. So yeah, let's get started. Today, I was thinking I have a few thoughts on a few different things, which I will get to later. But first off, let's get rid of pretty much the quick and easy news. And so last week, the new Dead by Daylight killer got announced and shown off, and now everyone has access to the PTB on Steam, which is the public test build. And so the new killer is the Ring, basically. Her name is Sadako. Well, it is Sadako from the Ring franchise. And it's from the classic Japanese Ring franchise, might I add. It's not like the Americanized version of the Ring. But, of course, it's still the well and girl with black hair in front of her face and whatnot. And it's pretty interesting because her power basically makes it to where she can go through televisions. There's plenty of televisions around the map, and at any point in time, she can just teleport to them. That is her main power. She also has this thing where she can, how do I put this? Oh, I forgot the exact word that they used, but she can, it's called manifest. I think this is the word that they used. When the game starts, she is not manifested. So she can walk around, but she cannot attack. And on the survivor's end, she kind of blinks in and out within a certain distance. And she has no red stain, so she's undetectable. Kind of blinks in and out, almost like Freddy does, if you know what Freddy's power is. And so then she can manifest, which makes it to where she's able to attack and whatnot. Which this helps her, sneak up on survivors, kind of like Wraith or whatever. But she also has the added power of like teleporting, so she's almost like a Wraith, Demogorgon combination. And so, yeah, and then on top of that, she also all the survivors in the match have a condemn meter, and when that becomes full, whether that's through the survivors grabbing tapes and deactivating the TVs, or via the Ring teleporting to them in a certain way. I don't remember that exact stipulation to make it raise. You either have to teleport within a certain distance of them, or you have to hit them after you teleport within a certain amount of time. I don't exactly remember, but after that meter fills up, I think it's like a bar of 5. And after that, then the Ring can Mori the survivor at any point. As long as, of course, they're still condemned, because you can lower the condemned meter by taking a tape to a certain television. And so, a pretty interesting killer. Most people so far that I've seen are okay with her. Some people think she's really underwhelming. Not really, but kind of underwhelming. Like, she needs a little bit more in terms of like a chase factor. She just needs a little bit of something, So yeah, I mean, we have a pretty interesting killer here. I haven't played Dead by Daylight in a while. I'd like to. Lately, I've just been kind of busy with other things and whatnot. But yeah, so new killer, and I want to say it's a new map as well, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I pulled up an article about it. I'm probably wrong. Knowing what's been happening as of late, I don't see a new map showcased in this, so let's see. Yeah, no new map. So yeah, we get a killer, and then we get a survivor. And as for the perks, they're pretty interesting. I'm not going to go over all of them right now. Sorry for that sound. I accidentally twisted the mic. I'm not going to go over all of the perks, but some of them are pretty interesting, and I figured I'd mention them. One of the perks for the killer is a perk that when you hook them on a bladed hook, or whatever, those special hooks where there's like 4 that spawn in on a map or whatever, whenever a killer hooks a survivor on those, after the survivor is unhooked, everyone within a certain radius of the hook is revealed to the killer for a certain amount of time, I believe. And then one of the survivor perks is that whenever you stun the killer with a pellet, all your scratch marks, noises, and basically everything, you become, it's like off the record, but for like, I think it's 8 seconds after you stun the killer with a pellet. So it'll pair really well with that one perk. I just had it in my mind and I completely forgot the name of it. That one perk where you stun a killer and then you get a speed boost. It's one of the newer exhaustion perks from one of the latest chapters, which is really good exhaustion perk, by the way. I love that perk already. Pairing that with this new perk, you're gone. The killer will not be able to find you no matter what. You're absolutely gone from the face of the earth as soon as you stun them with a pellet. It's going to be great. So yeah, we got that. And then we have Bethesda teasing quote unquote exciting plans for Fallout 76 for like later in the year, in this year, 2022. It's very, honestly, I kind of commend them, I want to say, for sticking with the game for so long. The game's been out for like 4 years now, and it was a dumpster fire for the longest time. They've gone through, like, they even had a battle royale that they shut down. Like, this game was a dumpster fire for the longest time. However, they finally fixed the Game Pass version on PC, and I've finally been able to play it. So I re-downloaded it like last night, and I just played it a bit today. So far, it's okay. There are actual human NPCs now. There's a lot. It kind of seems like quests are just thrown at you, almost like I don't want to say Skyrim style, because that's not really how that works in Skyrim, but like I have a lot of quests and I haven't done much to receive the quests. You kind of start off with a few different quest lines. And not only that, but like the base quest line where you had to find the vault overseer or whatever, that kind of got pushed to the side, it seems. Because I guess I could just be stupid and I didn't really go for it, but I found someone and then got carried off on a whole different quest line. So like, it definitely seems a lot more lively now instead of just kind of open space, which of course there is still open space and kind of emptiness at some places. But other than that, I mean, they seem to have kind of filled a little bit of the gaps. And I mean, I guess maybe they filled all of the gaps. I haven't really played it enough. I think I played it for like 2 hours. However, I did see a level 500 player that was quite literally like super jumping around and like, what the fuck? So yeah, I guess we'll see what those plans are and if they are any good. Hopefully they are, because, you know, no one wants a bad game, you know? It's just, I want every game to be good and everyone to enjoy, like have a game for them to enjoy. Oh man, yeah, I don't know how they even have enough money to support this game. But I mean, who knows? They're still doing it, so good on them, I guess. Next up, we have an article that came out just the other day. I think on the 19th, it says about how Microsoft opened the acquisition talks for Activision 3 days after the reports came out of good old Bobby harassing people, which is kind of, I don't want to like say that it's funny, because the whole harassment thing is not funny at all and it's very serious, but it just goes to show that like they basically, well, first off, it says that Phil Spencer told his employees that he was disturbed and deeply troubled by the horrific events and actions that took place at Activision Blizzard, and then that Microsoft would reevaluate its relationship. And then 1 day later is when they started talking, basically, about it. It didn't really start as acquisition talks, but it was kind of just a reevaluation, and it just ended in, you know, Activision Blizzard well, almost about to be acquired, I guess we should say, because they're not acquired yet. And then, so yeah, I mean, that's on one hand, it's kind of weird that they're like, oh, hey, this horrible thing happened, let's buy them. But on the other hand, it's a really smart business decision. It gets Bobby out of the company. He's no longer going to be CEO. I don't know if he will retain a position, but from everything that I've seen, it doesn't seem like he's going to retain a position at Activision Blizzard. So I think they're just buying him out of the company, basically, just tossing him out, saying goodbye, which is great. Good on them. Hopefully, if that is what happens, I really hope that's what happens, because good old Bobby, our Bubby, okay, our buddy Bobby, he can just go on, live his little rich life after he. I hate that man. So yeah, like on one hand, it's like a weird thing, but on another hand, it's a really smart business decision, because they basically bought the company at a discount, which is, I mean, yeah, they probably got multiple billions off of a potential deal, basically. But not only that, multiple other companies also were trying to buy them. And one company even reportedly just wanted Blizzard. They just wanted to buy Blizzard. Very weird. It honestly could have been like Sony or something, because Sony doesn't necessarily, I don't think, have the funds to do something like acquire Activision Blizzard, but they may have enough funds to kind of separate the two and buy Blizzard. Although Activision just said no to them because it was too hard to sell just Blizzard, which is kind of funny. So yeah, we have that. And of course, we all know that it's up to the whole antitrust thing for it to go through, but I'm sure it's going to go through. They're pretty top companies in terms of today's video game industry, but it definitely wouldn't corner any part of the market. So I would be very surprised if the deal got terminated. Next up, which is probably the last thing I am going to talk about today. Pretty short episode today. Oh, actually, no. I do have a few other things after this. But I wanted to take a moment to bring up all of the movies and TV shows adapted about video games that have been coming out recently. We have the Halo show, we have the Uncharted movie, and now we have Netflix reportedly pairing up with 2K and Take-Two Interactive to make a BioShock movie. And I have very mixed feelings about this kind of thing. Like, on one hand, it's great that these franchises and like these companies kind of step out and do something different and kind of expand on their worlds. Like, I know a lot of people like the BioShock games, and like seeing something else in that universe, or maybe a different perspective on one of the certain stories in the BioShock franchise, would be great, as long as it's done right. That's the issue. It has to be done right. And like, I feel like it's very hard to adapt to a movie, because on one hand, you have to get something kind of new and refreshing for the people that have had the franchise, like know the franchise, without compromising what they believe should happen. Like, I talked to Michaela about the Uncharted movie, which I saw last night, by the way. I'll get to that in a moment. And she said that a lot of people didn't think that Tom Holland fit the role of Nathan Drake, which, I mean, as someone who's been playing the games for a while, you might think that. But for someone like me, I went in with zero Uncharted experience, and I thought the movie was pretty good. Honestly, I thought Tom did a great job, because Tom generally does a good job with his roles. I mean, look at Spider-Man. It's my favorite set of Spider-Man movies is Tom Holland. Like, he got me really interested in the Spider-Man franchise, and even the Avengers franchise, I would say. Come to think of it, yeah, it was mainly Tom Holland that got me interested in the Avengers franchise, and kind of when they made that switch. And Yeah, so it's something that is very a very two-edged sword, because you have to do it right for the older fans, but you also have to make it engaging and kind of understandable enough for the new people, because it's a completely different audience when it comes to movies. You're gonna get the fans, and then you're gonna get the people that just see, oh hey, this looks like a pretty good movie. And so yeah, it's a really difficult thing. I have very mixed feelings on it. The Uncharted movie I think was good. I think it's really like a case by case basis. The Halo show looks like it's going to be pretty good, though of course we can't really speak until later. And so yeah, the very two-edged sword. Hopefully everything that comes out is good. The Halo show, hopefully that's phenomenal. Hopefully that everyone just praises it, and I don't know where I was going with that. I was trying to make a joke, but yeah, that fell dead in the water. Oh well. And yeah, that's all I got on that one. It's really rough topic, because even some people even hate the idea of adapting video games into movies and shows altogether. Which I get it, because we have gotten a lot of things in the past that have sucked, that have just sucked absolute dog water. Let's really just hope these things are good, because, like I said earlier, I just want entertaining things. I'm entertaining things where people don't get harassed and whatnot. That's all I have for that. And then next we have Zofia coming to Extraction. Extraction's been out for almost exactly a month now, a month and a day. And we already got our first new operator, which is Zofia. Zofia, she is Ella's sister, if you don't know any Siege lore, and she works exactly the same way as she does in Siege. She has her, I think it's called a G. Is it called a GRE launcher? Either way, it's like a little grenade launcher that shoots either impact grenades or like stun grenades that detonate within like a radius of enemies or within a certain amount of time. So the impact grenades, on impact, it makes like a pretty big round hole, enough for you to like almost walk through. You can like crouch through it, vault over it, whatever. And she, of course, do damage with it. And I think she was probably, I haven't played her too much. I think I played 1 or 2 games with her. She was definitely probably the best first addition to the game. I wouldn't say the best overall addition, because I think some characters, I'm trying to think of specifically who would be really good to bring. I guess someone like Thorn next, or something like that. Or even someone like the new character, which I'll talk about in a second, for Siege, would be pretty good. But Zofia is definitely probably one of the best first operators, because she's simple. She has a good upgrade path that makes her balanced and whatnot. At level 10, she has, I think, 3 or 4 of each type of grenade, and they recharge after like 120 seconds per like shot or whatever. So I mean, she seems pretty balanced. She has, of course, all of Ella's guns, the same guns as her, because they basically shared almost. Well, I guess not really. They only shared their pistol, I think, in Siege. But I mean, they kind of go hand in hand when it comes to Extraction, anyways. So they both have the same guns, although different unlock times for them. Ella starts with the SMG, and then Zofia starts with her LMG, I believe. And yeah, overall, she's a good addition to the game. I definitely like to see that this happens so quickly. And the first Crisis event should be happening very soon. Actually, I think it's out now. Should be, hopefully. And the Crisis event, I believe, is kind of like one of the big events that lasts a certain amount of time, and it's a set few levels or whatever. I'm not entirely sure how it works yet. I even think this one is a new game mode, but like I said, I'm not 100% sure, because it looked really weird. In terms of the teasers, it was like a yellow container on the ground, which we have not seen yet. So it's probably already in the game. I've just been busy with other things. So I will have to check that out and maybe do a quick 5-minute episode or wait until next episode to give you an overview on it and whatnot. And remember that Extraction is on Game Pass as well as Siege. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Siege at all times, but Extraction is a really good show game. I honestly really like that game. And yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's worth $40 because, especially considering, yeah, it just doesn't seem like it's totally worth $40 yet. Of course, it'll become worth more as they add more to the game. But overall, I think it's a pretty good game, and especially with something like Game Pass or Ubisoft Plus, I think it's a good pickup, good steal to just sit down, play for a while. Because I mean, I already have 24 hours of in-game time, which means I've been like on the game for probably a total of 35 hours, which isn't too bad within a month. It's not something that I'm always on, but it's also not something that I'm never on. So, and then, I think I lost my last topic that I wanted to talk about. I believe I did. Oh well, I guess that is all for this week's episode. And oh, that's right. Ubisoft is having a very tiny sale for President's Day, as well as Steam. So, I mean, check your other platforms, Xbox and all that. I'm assuming some things will be on sale. Ubisoft, it's mainly, I think, in-game currency. And then I think, whoa. Why? What is happening today? My memory is absolutely terrible. Oh, man. Siege is on sale. I think one of the Tom Clancy games is on sale. Probably Breakpoint. Watch Dogs Legion, I believe, was on sale for like $20 or something like that. Maybe probably less, honestly. And then The Division, that's what I was thinking of. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 is also on sale. Probably as well as the DLC. And yeah, and then there's also a few games that are on Steam on sale, which it looks like World War Z, Golf with Your Friends, which is also having a free weekend, Golf with Your Friends on Steam, among other things. Borderlands 3 is having a really good, actually, I think I already mentioned it, actually, that Borderlands 3 is in the Humble Bundle for this month. If you do not know what Humble Bundle is, it's like a subscription service where you pay X amount of dollars. I think there's a few different tiers, so you can choose what games you want for that month out of a list. I think they list either 10 to 12 games per month, and depending on what subscription tier you have, you can just choose however many. If you have the highest tier, you can just get them all. If you have the lowest tier, I think you can choose 3 games out of the whole list to get. And Borderlands 3, as well as one of the DLCs is on it, and you can join for $12, which that's normally worth $75. And if you get the $12 one, you can also just pick up another random game that you want out of that list. Keep in mind, Humble Bundle is only for Steam games. That is the only type of games you are going to get on it. So if you buy Humble Bundle and you get like Borderlands 3, you are going to get a Steam code. Although wait, actually it seems like it's for Steam and Epic Games. So some of the games depend on where they can give it to you. And it appears Borderlands 3 specifically, you can also get on Epic Games, as well as the DLC, of course. But all the other games for this month are all on Steam. Most of the games are on Steam. It is very rare that I see a game able to be redeemed on Epic. But yeah, there's a few other like interesting games. They're all single player, from what I know. Actually, Just Die Already, but that's more of like a meme type game. And yeah, so I mean, $12 for Borderlands 3, which is a pretty good game from what I've played. I don't think I've beaten it yet, and I don't think I've necessarily played through all of the DLC. But so far, what I've played of Borderlands 3, I plan on playing more, of course, whenever I remember to play it and get the time. I think I was playing through it with Michaela, so I'd have to get her on and whatnot. But yeah, pretty decent game. $12, not bad, not bad at all. Otherwise, on Steam, it's on sale for $32. I definitely recommend it if you have Steam and you like the Borderlands franchise and you just don't have Borderlands 3 yet. Yeah. Otherwise, there's tons of more games on sale on Steam. No Man's Sky is half off, and then there's a bunch of random, like, smaller games. Street Fighter 5 is even, apparently, on a deal for the weekend. And, yeah. I mean, I guess I could also mention that Lost Ark has been released. I think it got released, like, maybe a little over a week ago, if I'm not mistaken. And Lost Ark is a top-down MMORPG, kind of like Skyrim, or not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online. Disregard the Skyrim part. My brain is fried today. I can't speak. I can't think. What is going on? Yeah, it's kind of like Elder Scrolls Online in a way that it's like a top-down MMORPG, and there's just a bunch of skills and a bunch of different classes that you can use. There's a lot of skills in that game. I think you start off with like 8 different skills, so you have 8 different hotkeys on your keyboard that you have to press and memorize to use them properly and whatnot. Crazy. I personally am not really into MMORPG games. I tried it just basically to try it. I don't have it installed anymore because, like I said, not for me. However, what I did play was pretty decent. It seems like it has a pretty decent gameplay loop, and hopefully the end game's good, and it's free to play. So, I mean, you might as well pick it up and try it if you're into MMORPGs. Why not, right? And yeah, I believe that is all for this week, gamers. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Quick addition onto the end here. I totally forgot. I totally spaced my mind to go over the new Siege character. So the new Siege character, her name is Azami, and her ability is a throwing knife that disperses a gas in a circle that later hardens into a surface that can either be blown up or meleeed. So it's basically a way to create new sightlines and fortify certain areas. Like, one thing I was thinking was on Coastline in the Penthouse objective, everyone who plays Penthouse always plays a Mira in Theater Room. And now you can use this new gadget to fortify underneath the Mira, so the Mira can't just get shot from, all the way in the trophy room. That's what it's called. Yeah. So, very interesting character. Really going to shift up the meta, I think, and very interested to see how she plays out, and in terms of like meta and ranked and whatnot. I am definitely going to be giving her a shot because she sounds so interesting, especially when it comes to later on in the rounds when attackers are kind of closing in on objectives. It allows her to kind of block off certain areas, like certain sight lines and whatnot, or even fortifying certain areas. Like I said, like the floor in Cash Room on Clubhouse, she can fortify the floor after it gets blown up while Bandit's bandit tricking. Bam! They have to explode it again before they can even shoot Bandit. They can't even shoot Bandit through the soft floor. It's going to be great. I think. I think it's going to be a really good character, and not too strong either. So excited for that. Sorry for missing that, and I will see you guys next week.